Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas. Good evening and welcome to the MGM Grand here on the Vegas Strip in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada for a much-anticipated main event. 10 rounds of heavyweight action between Mike Tyson and Big George Foreman. Mike Tyson's coming down to the ring now, and what a nice reception as he is completely focused in on his goal tonight. George Foreman's making his way to the ring now, and you can see how focused he is on the task at hand.
And his opponents, fighting out of the red corner, Big George Foreman.
All right, guys, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Nice clean fight. All right, touch marks. Let's go.
Everybody's been waiting for these two to meet up. Now they do, as round one is underway. Teddy, in this matchup of Tyson versus Foreman, what does George Foreman have to be careful of?
Well, what he has to be careful of is that he allows Tyson in too close. I think George has to be ready to do his damage as Tyson comes in. George Foreman's not the best technical fighter in the world. He'll throw a wide punch, he'll stand straight up, he'll leave himself wide open. And if Tyson gets into those areas where he can let those quick hands, those powerful hands go, while Foreman's standing straight up, Foreman's going to have a problem. Foreman has to do damage as Tyson comes in.
George Foreman's jacked by an uppercut.
Come on, side to side.
Halfway through round number one. Parries that punch intended for the head. That's as good as it gets right there. A crushing uppercut by Mike Tyson. They both decide to bring it. I guess it's already a sign of things to come. They are not wasting any time toe-to-toe in round one.
If this is an appetizer, please bring on the meal.
He just missed that shot up top. A nice, crisp hook after a fine defensive effort. Just 10 seconds to go in this round. Teddy, the Mike Tyson reputation has steamrolled through the early part of his career, and specifically many point to his fight back in 1986 against Jesse Ferguson when he knocked him out in the 6th round. And then in the post-fight interview, he simply said, my goal was to break his nose and send it up into his brain.
Yeah, he didn't simply say that. It sounded barbaric, animalistic, but he understood that he was sending a message, not to Ferguson, but to other potential opponents, that this is the kind of person I am. He wasn't that kind of person, but he wanted people to think he was.
He just ate a big uppercut right there. He had no idea it was coming his way. He does not look good at all. Good block by George. He was on wobbly legs not long ago. Now he's got his feet back under him.
And what is that, a chin, or is that Mount Rushmore?
Nice block that time. It was intended to the head. George Foreman starting to show some swelling. His corner should ice that down. Last 10 seconds. Well, Mike Tyson has not faced much adversity in his early career, but now a bit of a challenge, as you can see the swelling.
And a swollen eye on anybody, especially on somebody like Tyson. It can shrink your confidence. I wonder if that's what's happening right now to Tyson.
Like a sledgehammer, that uppercut by Mike Tyson. Blocks that punch. Able to dismiss his opponent's shot, and then comes back with an uppercut. Well, we just learned something here, Teddy, in this fight. He landed a beautiful counterpunch, and if that continues tonight, this fight's going to be in his favor.
Yeah, this fight might be over, because when you land counterpunches, usually you're landing clean shots, and sooner or later...
Oh, that's gotta hurt. George Foreman's legs look shaky. He was hurt. Oh, he took some damage, but he gave some back with the right hand. See, the defense pays off as he gets rid of that downstairs. There are different kinds of power punchers, Teddy. Some are sharp and accurate, some are thudding and impactful. Where does George Foreman lie on that scale?
A bludgeoning kite puncher, a guy that you have a headache for about a week. He hits you with...
Oh! George Foreman's finding himself on the canvas. Knocked down there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Foreman is rising up after being knocked down. Big George went down. Now he's going to continue on.
And now he has to find a way to kill that clock.
Tucks those elbows in, blocks the body shot. End of that round, and the knockdown was scored. Now, Teddy, the fighter who was floored, how do you treat him? Do you go soft on him when he comes back, or do you get right in his face? What's the way to approach it?
You have to know your fighter. You have to know the temperament of your fighter. Some guys, you know, they just kind of crawl up into a ball, and they don't come out of it if you get too strong with them. Other guys, they react well to that. So you got to know what he reacts to, first of all. And the most important thing, you have to get information. Why did he get dropped? You had your right hand down, you got hit the hook. Get your right hand up. You'll be okay.
Able to dismiss his opponent's shot, and then comes back with an uppercut. You get the sense that they know no other way how to fight. They are going at it, back and forth, toe-to-toe, punch for punch. Halfway through round number 4. Do you see any way in which he can take his opponent's aggression and turn it against him?
Yeah, the perfect way. I mean, boxing 101, counterpunching. You got a guy coming at you, no better way than to change his mind. Make him miss, make him pay.
George Foreman, of course, took part in one of the most famous fights of all time, the Rumble in the Jungle. What could he have done differently to have changed that outcome?
Nothing. Ali got into his head. That Ali made him believe that he could not beat him. That Ali made him believe that he had to submit. Because for years after that, days and hours and years, he had to deal with the knowledge that he gave in to a guy who was more together mentally than he was.
As that round comes to an end, it gives us a moment to kind of reflect on this overall fight. Teddy, my thoughts are pretty clear cut. This is the kind of fight that just takes on a personality of its own. This is an all-out war. Oh, and there you go. George Foreman's in a bad spot right now. He's been stunned. Able to block that away. It was targeted for his head. They are bringing out the best in each other. I mean, you can just tell when they meet up in the middle of this ring. Holy cow! George Foreman's legs look shaky. He was hurt. George Foreman's nose is starting to bleed. Oh, George Foreman's nailed by a huge hook. He was damaged moments ago, but now he's got his feet back underneath him. Oh, that's gotta hurt. George Foreman's almost out of it there. He was stunned. Oh, George Foreman is hurt here, and he's gonna look to waste some time and gather some strength by hugging his opponent.
And that's what he's gonna do, is use that strength. And you just said it, Joe, use it to hug him. Hug him so tight that the referee has to come in there with a crowbar to say,
oh! Mike Tyson stunned and staggered. Foreman's mounting a comeback here, Teddy. Things were going against him. Now the tide is turned.
good things come to those who wait or those who persevere. He persevered, good things are happening.
Teddy, he went from being on the edge of the cliff to now climbing back up the mountain.
Well, you know, that's where you'd want to know if a guy recovers fast. Obviously, he has the capacity to recover very quickly.
10 seconds to go in this round. Think back to George Foreman in his early days, and I think one of the visions that most fans remember is holding that tiny little American flag in the Mexico City Olympic Games in 1968 after claiming gold.
You know, that's an interesting point because Foreman's not known as a guy with great personality. You know, he's a guy who's a disdainful-looking guy. You know, he's a guy that kind of reminds you almost of a Sonny Liston. He tries to intimidate you. He does intimidate you with his power, with his size, but at that moment, he showed that he has personality, that it's inside him.
That was off the mark. Foreman's in a really bad spot here. I mean, he has been beaten down tonight. He is losing on the scorecards, and he's not showing me anything that says he could turn this fight around. What about you?
Well, I think he's got to change his vocation a little bit right now. He's got to become a quarterback because what he has to do is not throw the punch, not right for the receiver, throw it to where he's going to be. I noticed that.
Oh, and there you go. Mike Tyson's in a bad place right now. He was tagged. Dismisses his opponent's headshot. He was damaged moments ago, but now he's got his feet back under him.
Guard your head. Beat him to the punch.
Good looking right hand after he got hit. Able to cover up along the belt line, blocks that one. George Foreman's cut man is going to need to be all over this side. The swelling seems to be getting worse.
Well, it's kind of like being a gardener. You have to start getting in there before the weeds come up. You can't wait until the weeds are all over the place and then pull them up. You're going to destroy those beautiful rose bushes. Well, it's the same thing here. You got to get to this eye before the swelling's there. You got to put that end swell, that cold piece of metal, onto that place early on.
Oh, George Foreman's hit by a right hand. The end to another very entertaining round in what has been a very entertaining fight. A fight where there's just bad intentions. The fight that just doesn't have the feel of a fight that's going to be a decision win for somebody. Looks like somebody's going to get stopped.
Right from the beginning, they've been fighting with desperation. Like going to decision, as you just touched on, has not been in their minds at all.
Nice block by Tyson. He just missed that shot up top. Good job job protecting himself. Foreman's got to conserve his energy a bit here. He just does not look like a fresh fighter right now.
Yeah, you're starting to wonder right now what kind of conditioning program he had. And right now his opponent is saying, hey, I'm going to jump on him. I'm going to find out right now whether or not he did all the road work he needed to.
That straight right, unable to connect. Tucks those elbows in, blocks the body shot. Tried to land that upstairs and was off the mark. Nothing there on the punch by Tyson. Mike Tyson's trainers are doing a good job, aren't they, Teddy? Harold was rocked, but now look at him.
Yeah, they're giving them the right advice. You know, they've made a little strategic change here, a little bit of an adjustment. That's what you like to see. Not just the fighter thinking, but the corner, the support team thinking.
End of the round here, and as I glance around ringside and look at the judges, I'm wondering what they're writing down, because that was a tough round to score.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it's the kind of round where one guy would be really smart to take a page.
There it is! George Foreman's almost out of it there. He was stunned. George Foreman's now battling two opponents. The guy standing opposite him trying to punch him, and his eyes swelling.
Yeah, he can't see what's coming at him right now.
Staying away from those headshots with his defense up top. Foreman, oh! Mike Tyson's legs look shaky. He was hurt. Foreman's showing some real guts here. Hey, this fight was not going his way at all, but somehow he has gathered momentum.
He behaved like a fighter. He got through the tough times, and now guess what? Good times in front of him.
Teddy, this is one of those moments where you just wish you could pick up the phone and call up the world and say, tune in. Everybody should be watching this, right?
I have a cell phone. I might do that right now.
Start dialing. George Foreman's got to deal with a cut cheek. George Foreman stunned, and he was able to get up and continue on last time. Now he goes down again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So big George Foreman able to get up after that knockdown, and now a real challenge in front of him.
Now the challenge right now is really the opposite of any challenge that he's ever faced before. Usually the challenge is how to get rid of a guy, you know, how to put his big paws on a guy. Now he has to find a way to survive.
And a big right hand by Tyson. Oh, and they decide to trade there. End of this round. Alongside Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. Now they got some work to do here. Their man was just dropped.
Yeah, the first thing is you put some cold water. You can't use that. You clear his head, and you tell him why he was dropped.
There's a taste of the sweet science. You see the skill. Punches in bunches and some serious damage being done.
He's putting them together beautifully.
Oh, and look at this, Teddy, wasting no time getting to know each other.
No, they came right to the center ring.
Oh, and there you go. George Foreman's almost out of it there. Oh, George Foreman's down. He is knocked down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Foreman is rising up after being knocked down. Big George went down. Now he's going to continue on.
And now he has to find a way to kill that clock.
He was stunned. stunned, but now he's surviving. What a great round. 2 minutes in, 60 seconds to go. Parries the punch, comes back with the hook. Tyson's shown us that if he pulls this trigger, he's hitting that target. His accuracy is great.
Well, that's part of his...
Wow! George Foreman, he goes down in the later stages of this round. He's going to try to survive it.
3, 4, 5.
This fight is now over. Mike Tyson's going to be partying tonight. A knockout victory. It doesn't get better than that. Mike Tyson's your winner by knockout.
I feel like I just read a book. You know, I know a little bit more.